The first thing you need to understand about marriage is that it doesn't end with a bang. It ends with the sound of someone typing on their phone at 2 in the morning, pretending they're answering work emails. My name is Eliot Granger, and I fix things for a living. Broken pipes, cracked foundations, electrical problems that could burn your house down if you ignore them long enough. 38 years on this planet, and I've learned that most problems start small and grow in the dark, until they're too big to ignore. Like my wife Sam's sudden interest in working late. I'm sitting in our kitchen right now, watching her thumb dance across her phone screen with the kind of focus she used to reserve for me. The coffee's gone cold in my mug, and the morning light streaming through our windows shows every crack in the paint I've been meaning to fix. Sam doesn't notice the cracks. She's too busy maintaining her image as the perfect wife of a successful HR director. Another crisis at the office? I ask, keeping my voice light. She doesn't look up. You wouldn't understand. It's complicated. Right. Because managing employee disputes at Henderson Financial requires the kind of advanced degree they don't hand out to guys who work with their hands. Sam graduated from State College with a business degree and acts like she went to Harvard. I dropped out of community college to start my contracting business, which now employs 12 people and pays for this house she loves to show off on social media. Try me, I say. I might surprise you. She finally glances up, and for just a second, I see something flicker across her face. Guilt, maybe, or annoyance that I'm interrupting her very important phone conversation with whoever's keeping her up at night. It's just work stuff, Eli. Nothing exciting. Nothing exciting. That's become her favorite phrase lately. Our conversations are nothing exciting. The dinners I cook are nothing exciting. The life we built together over 8 years of marriage has apparently become nothing exciting. But her phone? That's fascinating. I finish my coffee and rinse the mug, watching her reflection in the window above the sink. She's biting her lower lip the way she does when she's lying to a client about why their insurance claim got denied. It's a tell I learned years ago, back when we used to talk about everything. Mrs. Rourke mentioned she saw you at Benedetto's last week, I say casually. Said you looked like you were having a great time. The typing stops. Mrs. Rourke needs to mind her own business. She was just making conversation. Said you were with some guy from work. Tall, good hair, expensive suit. Sam's jaw tightens. We have business dinners sometimes. It's called networking. At 9 p.m. on a Thursday? Some of us have careers that require actual effort, Eli. There it is. The knife, twisted just right to remind me that I'm just a contractor. Just a guy who gets his hands dirty while she sits in meetings and makes real money. Never mind that my little business paid for her car, this house, and the designer clothes she wears to impress her colleagues. I dry my hands and turn around. You're right. What do I know about effort? She's already back to typing, dismissing me with the kind of casual cruelty that's become her specialty. I watch her for another minute, memorizing the way she holds her phone close to her chest when she thinks I'm looking, how she angles the screen away from me like she's guarding state secrets. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. 8 years ago, Sam Peterson was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Smart, funny, ambitious, in a way that made me want to work harder, just to keep up with her. She believed in me when nobody else did, helped me write the business plan for Granger Construction, celebrated every small victory like it was the Super Bowl. Now she can't be bothered to look up when I'm talking. The change didn't happen overnight. It crept in slowly, like water damage behind drywall. First, it was working late a few nights a week. Then it was weekend conferences and networking events I wasn't invited to. Then it was separate bedrooms because my snoring kept her awake, even though I've never snored a day in my life. Now it's the phone. Always the phone. I'm heading to the gutter tonight, I tell her. Mick's buying the first round. Mm-hmm. Thought I'd invite Chad from your office. He seems like a fun guy. Her head snaps up so fast, I'm surprised she doesn't get whiplash. Chad? Yeah, Chad Larkin, the one with the good hair Mrs. Rourke mentioned. Figured if he's such great company for business dinners, maybe he'd enjoy a beer with the husband. The color drains from Sam's face, and for a moment, she looks exactly like the woman I married. Vulnerable, real. Then the mask slides back into place. Chad doesn't drink, she says quickly. He's very health conscious. Is he now? Well, maybe next time. I grab my keys and head for the door, leaving her sitting there with her phone clutched in her hands like a life preserver. As I'm pulling out of the driveway, I see her through the kitchen window, already dialing. The gutter isn't much to look at from the outside. Brick building, neon sign that flickers when it rains, parking lot full of pickup trucks and 10-year-old sedans. It's the kind of place Sam would never be caught in, which is exactly why I love it. Mick O'Sullivan has been my best friend since high school, back when we both thought we'd conquer the world before we turned 30. He ended up managing the parts department at Henderson Auto, and I ended up fixing rich people's houses. Not exactly world conquest, but we're still here, still buying each other beers and complaining about our lives. You look like someone stole your lunch money, Mick says as I slide onto the bar stool next to him. Worse, someone's stealing my wife. Gabby Martinez, the bartender who's heard every sob story in town, sets a beer in front of me without being asked. She's got the kind of sharp eyes that miss nothing, and the kind of sharp tongue that makes sure everyone knows it. About time you noticed, she says. Half the town's been talking about it for months. Talking about what, exactly? Mick and Gabby exchange a look. In a town this size, everyone knows everyone else's business, especially when that business involves the kind of drama people love to whisper about. Your wife's been making regular appearances with Pretty Boy from her office, Gabby says. Always the same booth at Benedetto's, always the same routine. Business dinner my rear end. Chad Larkin, I say. That's the one. Thinks he's God's gift to womankind. Tips like garbage and treats the waitstaff like servants. Mick takes a long pull from his beer. Look, buddy, I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but what? I saw them last Tuesday at the Marriott downtown, parking garage. They weren't discussing quarterly reports, if you know what I mean. The beer tastes like sawdust in my mouth. Part of me wants to punch something, but a bigger part of me just feels tired. Like I've been carrying a heavy load uphill for months without realizing it. How long? I ask. Best guess? 3, maybe 4 months. Started around the time Henderson hired him from that firm in Portland. 4 months. 4 months of working late and business dinners and separate bedrooms. 4 months of me cooking dinner for one and going to bed alone while she texted her boyfriend. What are you going to do? Mick asks. I finish my beer and signal Gabby for another. I'm going to think about it. But I'm already thinking. Sam wants to play games? Fine. I've been underestimated my whole life. Teachers who thought I was too dumb for college. Clients who assumed I'd cut corners because I didn't wear a suit to work. My own wife, who thinks I'm too simple to notice when she's lying to my face. They're all about to learn the same lesson. Never underestimate a man who knows how to fix things, especially when he's decided something needs breaking first. The thing about being married to someone for 8 years is that you learn their patterns. Sam thinks she's being clever, but she's as predictable as a leaky faucet. Every Tuesday and Thursday, working late. Every weekend, some new conference or networking event. Every morning, the same secretive phone routine. What she doesn't know is that I've been paying attention to more than just her schedule. 3 days after my conversation with Mick and Gabby, I'm sitting in my truck outside Henderson Financial, watching Sam's routine unfold like clockwork. She emerges from the building at exactly 5:47 p.m., not with her usual group of co-workers, but with Chad Larkin. I have to admit, the guy's got presence. Tall, perfectly styled hair, one of those suits that probably costs more than most people make in a month. He's got his hand on the small of Sam's back as they walk to his car, a gesture casual enough to look innocent, but intimate enough to make my jaw clench. They think they're being discreet. They have no idea that Mrs. Rourke isn't the only one in town with functioning eyes. I follow them at a distance, staying back far enough to avoid detection. They don't go to Benedetto's tonight. Instead, Chad drives to the new wine bar on Elm Street, the kind of place that charges $20 for a glass of wine and calls it an experience. Through the window, I watch them settle into a corner booth. Sam's laughing at something Chad's saying, her hand resting on his arm. She's wearing the blue dress I bought her for our anniversary last year, the one she said was too fancy for anywhere we'd go. Apparently, it's just fancy enough for cheating. I take photos with my phone, not because I'm planning to use them in court, Maine's a no-fault divorce state, but because I want documentation, evidence, a record of exactly how long this has been going on and how little effort they've put into hiding it. My phone buzzes with a text from Sam. Working late again tonight. Don't wait up. I text back, no problem. Love you. She responds with a heart emoji. A heart emoji while she's sitting 3 feet away from her boyfriend, probably planning their next rendezvous. The audacity is almost impressive. I drive home and do what I do best. I start fixing the problem. Sam's always been careless with technology. She uses the same password for everything, never logs out of accounts, and still has her old iCloud backup running on the laptop she forgot about in our home office. The laptop I set up for her 3 years ago and still have admin access to. It takes me exactly 12 minutes to download every text message, email, and photo from the last 6 months. What I find makes my stomach turn. There's a group chat called Christmas Angels with Sam, her best friend Heather, and Tori from her office. The messages read like a how-to guide for cheating wives. Heather: how's the side piece treating you? Sam: Chad's amazing, so different from E, actually pays attention to me. Tori: what about the husband? Sam: what about him? He's clueless, too busy with his little construction projects to notice anything. Heather: you're terrible, I love it. Sam: the Christmas party's next week. Chad's getting us a suite at the Marriott after. Tori: risky much? Sam: please. Eli will be home watching TV. He never notices anything. I read through months of messages, each one a fresh slap in the face. They discuss Chad's apartment, their weekend getaways disguised as work conferences, even my cooking. Apparently, my boring dinners are a running joke in their little group. But it's the messages between Sam and Chad that really get to me. Chad: can't wait to have you all to myself tonight. Sam: same, I'm so tired of pretending at home. Chad: when are you going to leave him? Sam: soon, after the holidays. I want to make sure I get my fair share of everything first. Chad: smart girl. Guy like that probably doesn't even have a good lawyer. Sam: he won't know what hit him. I sit back in my chair, staring at the screen. 8 years of marriage, and this is what it comes down to. She's not just cheating, she's planning to take me to the cleaners while laughing about how stupid I am with her friends. They think I won't see it coming. They're wrong. The next morning, Sam's getting ready for work when I bring her coffee in bed. It's a gesture I used to make every day, back when we were happy. Now it's reconnaissance. You're sweet, she says, not looking up from her phone. What's the occasion? Can a man bring his wife coffee without an ulterior motive? She finally looks at me, and for a second, I see a flicker of the old Sam. The one who used to curl up against me on Sunday mornings and talk about our dreams. I guess not, she says softly. I'm sorry I've been so distracted lately. Work's been crazy. I know. Heather mentioned the Christmas party's coming up. Big event? Huge. Everyone's going to be there. You should come with me. The invitation surprises me. According to her text messages, I was supposed to stay home while she disappeared with Chad. Either her plans have changed, or she's trying to throw me off the scent. I'd love to, I say. It'll be nice to meet some of your coworkers, especially Chad. You mention him a lot. Her coffee cup freezes halfway to her lips. Do I? All the time. Chad this, Chad that. He sounds like quite the guy. He's just a coworker, Eli. Nothing special. I'm sure he's not. Still, it'll be nice to put a face to the name. She sets down her coffee and gets out of bed, suddenly in a hurry to get dressed. I should get going. Big day today. Hot date? The words slip out before I can stop them, and Sam freezes with her back to me. What did you say? I said hot day, supposed to hit 60 degrees. Weird for December. She relaxes slightly. Oh, yeah, weird weather. I watch her get dressed, noting how she chooses her outfit with extra care, how she spends an extra 10 minutes on her makeup. She's getting ready for him, not for work. Sam? Yeah? I love you. She pauses at the bedroom door, her hand on the frame. For just a moment, she looks like she might cry. I love you too, Eli. But she doesn't turn around when she says it. After she leaves, I spend the morning doing what I do best, planning a job. Every construction project starts the same way. You assess the damage, figure out what needs to be torn down, and decide what's worth saving. In this case, there's nothing worth saving. I make a list of everything I know. The affair, the timeline, the Christmas party, the hotel suite, the divorce plans. Then I make a list of everything I need. More evidence, leverage, and a plan that'll leave them both wishing they'd never underestimated the simple contractor. My phone rings. It's Mick. You sound different, he says. Less mopey. I'm feeling better. Good. You want to grab lunch? Gabby's making her famous chili. Actually, I was thinking we could try somewhere new, that wine bar on Elm Street. Since when do you drink wine? Since I developed an interest in the local social scene. There's a pause. Eli, what are you planning? Nothing dramatic. I just want to see what all the fuss is about. And if you run into your wife and her boyfriend? Well, I say, looking at the printed screenshots spread across my desk, that would be unfortunate for them. The Henderson Financial Christmas party is exactly what you'd expect from a company that charges people fees for breathing. Crystal chandeliers, overpriced catering, and enough fake cheer to power a small city. Sam's been talking about it for weeks, treating it like the social event of the century. What she doesn't know is that I've been planning for it just as long. I'm wearing my best suit, the one I bought for our wedding, and I have to admit, I clean up pretty well. Sam seems surprised when I emerge from the bathroom, like she forgot I own anything besides work clothes and jeans. You look handsome, she says, and for a moment, she sounds like she means it. Thanks. You look beautiful. And she does. Sam's wearing a black cocktail dress that hugs her in all the right places, her hair styled in loose waves that frame her face perfectly. She looks like the woman I fell in love with 8 years ago, which makes what I'm about to do feel both easier and harder. The party's being held at the Marriott downtown, the same hotel where Chad's reserved their post-party suite. I know this because I've been monitoring their text messages for 2 weeks, watching their plans unfold like a badly written romance novel. We arrive fashionably late, and Sam immediately transforms into her professional persona. She's charming, confident, working the room like a politician running for office. She introduces me to her coworkers as my husband, the contractor, with just enough emphasis to remind everyone that she married beneath her station. I smile and shake hands and play the part of the simple blue-collar guy who's grateful to be included in such sophisticated company. It's a role I've been perfecting for years. And this must be the famous Chad, I say when we finally reach the golden boy himself. Chad Larkin is even more obnoxious in person than he appears in photos. Perfect teeth, perfect hair, perfect handshake that's just firm enough to show dominance without being obvious about it. He's the kind of guy who's never been told no in his life. Eli, great to finally meet you. Sam talks about you all the time. All good things, I hope? Of course. She's very proud of your little business. Little business. The condescension drips from his voice like honey, sweet and sticky, and designed to remind me of my place in the hierarchy. Sam doesn't correct him. What is it you do again, Chad? Sales. I handle our biggest clients, help them maximize their investment potential. Sounds complicated. It can be. Not everyone has the head for high-level finance. I nod sagely, playing the part of the impressed simpleton. I bet. Good thing there are smart guys like you to handle the complicated stuff while guys like me fix the toilets. Chad laughs, not realizing he's being mocked. Sam shoots me a warning look, but I just smile and excuse myself to get drinks. The bar is crowded, which gives me the perfect opportunity to implement phase 1 of my plan. I've been practicing this conversation for days, waiting for the right moment. Excuse me, I say to the bartender, loud enough for the people around me to hear. I'm looking for my wife. Blonde, black dress, probably with that guy Chad from sales. The bartender shrugs, but the woman next to me, Tori from the Christmas Angels chat, perks up immediately. They stepped out for some air, she says. Balcony, I think. Thanks. Hope they're not planning anything too private out there. I say it with a laugh, like it's a joke, but Tori's expression shifts. She knows something's going on, and now she's wondering if I know too. I take my time getting the drinks, letting the seed of doubt grow. By the time I return to the main party, I can see Tori whispering to Heather, both of them glancing in my direction with barely concealed panic. Sam and Chad are back from their air break, standing just a little too close together near the dance floor. Sam's cheeks are flushed, and Chad's tie is slightly askew. They're not even trying to be subtle anymore. Here's your wine, I tell Sam, handing her the glass with a smile. Thanks. Where were you? I was looking for you. Just chatting with your friends. Tori seems nice, very observant. Sam's grip tightens on her wine glass. What did you talk about? This and that. She mentioned you've been working a lot of late nights lately. Very dedicated of you. I told you, we've been busy. Oh, I'm sure you have. The conversation continues like this for another hour, me dropping subtle hints while Sam grows increasingly nervous. Chad, oblivious to the undercurrents, keeps trying to monopolize Sam's attention, his hand finding excuses to touch her arm, her back, her shoulder. Finally, around 10 p.m., Sam excuses herself to go to the restroom. Chad waits exactly 30 seconds before following her. This is my moment. I've spent weeks learning the layout of this hotel, memorizing every exit, every hallway, every service corridor. I know that the restrooms are located down a hallway that leads to the service elevators, and that hallway has a fire alarm system that's particularly sensitive to cigarette smoke. I also know that Chad carries a lighter, even though he doesn't smoke, because he thinks it makes him look sophisticated. I slip out of the party and make my way to the service corridor, where I've hidden a small device I picked up at the electronics store. It's designed to detect smoke and trigger building alarms, completely legal and available to any homeowner who wants to test their fire safety system. I activate the device and wait. 3 minutes later, the fire alarm starts screaming. The hallway erupts in chaos as people pour out of the party, confused and annoyed by the interruption. In the middle of it all, Sam and Chad emerge from a supply closet, her lipstick smeared, his shirt half untucked. Oh my, I say loudly, appearing at exactly the right moment. Looks like you two got caught in the evacuation. Good thing you were together. Wouldn't want anyone getting lost in all this confusion. A crowd of their co-workers has gathered, all of them taking in the scene. Sam's disheveled appearance, Chad's obvious embarrassment, the supply closet they've just emerged from. Heather pushes through the crowd. Sam, are you okay? We were looking everywhere for you. We were just, Sam starts. Getting some air, Chad finishes lamely. In a supply closet? Asks Jim from accounting. The whispers start immediately. In a company this size, gossip travels faster than fire, and by tomorrow morning, everyone will know that Sam Granger and Chad Larkin were caught in a compromising position during the Christmas party. Well, I say cheerfully, at least everyone's safe. That's what matters. Sam's face has gone pale, but Chad's starting to recover his composure. He's probably thinking he can spin this, turn it into an innocent misunderstanding. He's wrong. Actually, I continue, pulling out my phone, I got some great photos of the party before the alarm went off. Want to see? I start scrolling through the pictures I took throughout the evening, making sure everyone can see them. Most are innocent, people dancing, laughing, enjoying themselves. But mixed in are the money shots. Sam and Chad standing too close together, his hand on her lower back, their heads bent together in intimate conversation. This one's my favorite, I say, showing a picture of them on the balcony, clearly in the middle of what looks like a romantic moment. You two look so natural together. The crowd falls silent. Even Heather, who's been Sam's enabler throughout this whole affair, looks uncomfortable. Eli, Sam says quietly, can we talk privately? Of course, honey. But first, let me show everyone this video I took earlier. I don't actually have a video, but the threat is enough. Chad steps forward, his perfect composure finally cracking. Look, man, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Has there? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like my wife and her coworker were having a private meeting in a supply closet during a fire alarm. But hey, maybe I'm just seeing things. Security arrives to escort everyone out of the building, and in the confusion, Sam grabs my arm. We need to talk, she hisses. We sure do, but not here. Too many people watching. As we're herded toward the exits, I catch Tori's eye and give her a small nod. She's been feeding me information for weeks, motivated by jealousy and resentment toward Sam's success. Tonight, she's going to earn her payment. Tori, I call out. Thanks for keeping an eye on Sam tonight. I know how much you care about her. Tori's face goes white. She knows I know about her role in all this, and now she's wondering what else I might know. The party's over, but the real show is just getting started. The ride home is silent except for the sound of Sam's fingers flying across her phone screen. She's probably texting Chad, trying to figure out damage control. What she doesn't realize is that the damage is just beginning. Eli, she finally says as we pull into our driveway. About tonight. What about it? I know how it looked, but it's not what you think. I turn off the engine and look at her. Really look at her. 8 years of marriage, and she's still trying to lie to my face. What do I think, Sam? I don't know, but Chad and I were just talking about work stuff. The alarm went off, and we ducked into the first room we could find. With your lipstick smeared and his shirt half undone? She touches her lips self-consciously. It was hot in there. We were both flustered. Right. Flustered. We sit in the car for another minute, the weight of unspoken truths hanging between us like a loaded gun. Finally, Sam gets out and heads for the house, her heels clicking against the pavement with sharp, angry sounds. I follow her inside and watch her pour herself a large glass of wine. Her hands are shaking slightly, which tells me she knows exactly how bad tonight was for her reputation. People are going to talk, she says. Probably. This could affect my career. Could it? She whirls around, wine sloshing in her glass. Don't you care? This affects both of us, Eli. If I lose my job, you'll what? Have to depend on your husband's little construction business? The words hit their mark. Sam's face flushes, and for a moment, I think she might actually tell me the truth. Instead, she takes a long drink of wine and heads for the stairs. I'm going to bed. We'll figure this out tomorrow. Sam? She pauses on the bottom step. There's nothing to figure out. Everyone saw what they saw. She doesn't respond, just climbs the stairs to our bedroom. Her bedroom now, since I've been sleeping in the guest room for months. I wait until I hear her door close, then I get to work. Phase 2 of my plan requires precision timing and a thorough understanding of Chad Larkin's weaknesses. Thanks to Sam's text messages and social media stalking, I know plenty about both. Chad drives a pristine white BMW that he washes twice a week and parks in the same spot at his apartment complex. He works out at the gym every morning at 6 a.m. sharp. He gets his hair cut every 2 weeks at an expensive salon downtown. And he's absolutely obsessed with his image. All of these habits make him predictable, and predictable people are easy to mess with. The next morning, Sam leaves for work early, probably hoping to get to the office before the gossip mill starts grinding. She's wearing sunglasses and a conservative outfit, trying to project professionalism and respectability. It won't work. In a company that size, everyone knows everyone else's business, and last night's performance will be the topic of conversation for weeks. I wait an hour, then drive to Chad's apartment complex. His BMW is parked in its usual spot, gleaming in the morning sun like a beacon of arrogance. I've been planning this moment for days, and I've brought the right tools for the job. Expanding foam is a wonderful invention. It's designed to fill gaps and cracks in construction projects, but it has other uses. When injected into a car's exhaust pipe, it expands and hardens, creating a blockage that makes the engine run rough and produces thick, black smoke. It takes me exactly 90 seconds to apply the foam and disappear. By the time Chad discovers the problem, I'll be long gone, and he'll have no way to prove I was involved. But the foam is just the appetizer. I drive to Henderson Financial and park across the street, where I have a clear view of the employee entrance. Sam arrives at 8:30, her head down, moving quickly to avoid eye contact with her coworkers. Chad's late, which means my morning surprise worked perfectly. He finally shows up at 9:15, driving a rental car and looking frazzled. His perfect hair is slightly messed up, his usually immaculate suit is wrinkled, and he's carrying himself like a man who's had a very bad morning. I take photos of him getting out of the rental car, looking frustrated and defeated. These will come in handy later. My phone buzzes with a text from Tori. "Can we talk?" I text back, "Gutter, 7 p.m. She responds immediately, "I'll be there." The rest of the day passes slowly. I work on a kitchen renovation for the Hendersons, no relation to Henderson Financial, and try to focus on the job instead of the growing knot of anger in my stomach. But every time I think about Sam's lies, about Chad's smug face, about the months of deception and humiliation, the anger grows stronger. They wanted to play games with my life? Fine. But they're about to learn that I'm better at games than they thought. The gutter is busy when I arrive, filled with the usual crowd of working-class folks unwinding after a long day. Tori's already there, sitting in a corner booth and looking nervous. She's younger than Sam, maybe 28, with short brown hair and the kind of sharp intelligence that makes her dangerous when she's motivated. She's also been in love with Chad for 2 years, which is why she's been feeding me information about his affair with my wife. "You really did it," she says, as I sit down across from her. "Did what?" "Destroyed them at the party? Everyone's talking about it." Gabby appears with 2 beers, giving Tori a look that could freeze water. "You're the one from Sam's office." "That's right." Gabby sets down the beers and walks away, clearly unimpressed. "She doesn't like me," Tori observes. "Gabby doesn't like people who help married women cheat on their husbands." Tori's face reddens. "I never helped Sam cheat." "You covered for her. You lied for her. You enabled her." "I was trying to be a good friend." "No, you were trying to stay close to Chad. You thought if you helped him have his affair, maybe he'd notice you eventually." She doesn't deny it, which tells me I'm right. "What do you want from me?" she asks. "Information. Sam's planning to leave me after the holidays, take half of everything I've worked for and ride off into the sunset with Pretty Boy. I want to know exactly when and how. Tori takes a long drink of beer, considering. And if I help you? Then when this is all over, Chad will be available. Damaged, but available. It's a cruel offer, but Tori's desperate enough to take it. She nods slowly. They're planning to go away together next weekend. Some cabin upstate. Sam told everyone at work it's a spa retreat with her sister. What else? She's been meeting with a divorce lawyer, someone from Portland, so you wouldn't know about it. They're planning to file papers right after New Year's. The information hits me like a punch to the gut, even though I was expecting it. Hearing it confirmed makes it real in a way that reading text messages didn't. Anything else I should know? Tori hesitates. Chad's been bragging about how easy this has been. He says you're completely clueless, that he could probably seduce your wife in front of you and you wouldn't notice. The anger that's been building for weeks suddenly crystallizes into something cold and sharp. Chad thinks I'm clueless. Sam thinks I'm too stupid to see what's happening right in front of me. They're about to learn exactly how wrong they are. Thanks for the information, I tell Tori. Keep your ears open. This isn't over. She nods and finishes her beer quickly, eager to get away from the conversation and the guilt that's written all over her face. After she leaves, I sit alone in the booth, planning my next move. The expanding foam was just a warning shot. The real campaign starts now. My phone buzzes with a text from Sam. Working late again, don't wait up. I text back, have fun with Chad. For the first time in months, I don't get a response. 3 days later, Chad's car problems escalate from inconvenient to expensive. The expanding foam was just the beginning. Now he's dealing with sugar in his gas tank, slashed tires, and a mysterious scratch along the driver's side that spells out cheater in letters deep enough to require a complete paint job. I know this because Tori's been keeping me updated and because Chad's been stupid enough to complain about it on social media. Someone's targeting me, he posted on Facebook. Probably some jealous ex or business rival. Pathetic. The comments are mostly sympathetic, but I notice Sam hasn't liked or responded to any of his posts. She's trying to distance herself from him publicly while they plan their romantic getaway. Too bad their plans are about to change. It's Thursday evening, and I'm sitting in my truck outside the wine bar on Elm Street, watching Sam and Chad have what looks like an intense conversation. Through the window, I can see Chad gesturing angrily while Sam tries to calm him down. My phone rings. It's Mick. Please tell me you're not doing anything stupid, he says. Define stupid. Eli, I'm serious. Half the town knows you've been messing with that guy's car. If something happens to him... Nothing's going to happen to him. I'm not violent, Mick. I'm just creative. Creative enough to get yourself arrested. Only if I get caught. There's a long pause. What's the end game here, buddy? You humiliate them both, then what? You think Sam's going to come back to you? I don't want her back. I want justice. Justice or revenge? Is there a difference? Mick sighs. Yeah, there is. Justice is what happens in court. Revenge is what happens when you let anger make your decisions. Then I guess we'll find out which one this is. I hang up and refocus on the wine bar. Chad and Sam are leaving, and they don't look happy. Chad's face is red with anger, and Sam looks like she's been crying. Good. Let them feel some of the stress they've been putting me through. I follow them at a distance, watching as Chad drops Sam off at her car in the Henderson Financial parking lot. They don't kiss goodbye, don't even touch. The pressure's getting to them. Perfect. The next morning, Sam's getting ready for work when I bring her coffee in bed. It's become our routine again, this false intimacy that lets me monitor her mood and plans. You look tired, I observe. Didn't sleep well? Work stress? She takes the coffee with hands that shake slightly. Something like that. Anything I can help with? For a moment, she looks like she might actually tell me the truth. Her face crumples, and I see the woman I married, vulnerable and scared and desperate for someone to understand. Then the mask slides back into place. It's nothing you'd understand. Try me. It's complicated, Eli. Office politics, difficult clients, budget pressures. I wouldn't what? Be smart enough to follow along? She sets down her coffee cup and looks at me with something that might be regret. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I just meant we work in different worlds. What seems important to me might not seem important to you. Like Chad Larkin? The name hits her like a slap. She goes very still, her face carefully neutral. What about Chad? Is he one of those work problems that's too complicated for me to understand? Chad's just a coworker. Right, just a coworker you spend a lot of time with. We work on projects together, and go to wine bars together. That was a business meeting, and get caught in supply closets together during fire alarms. Sam's face flushes. You're being ridiculous. Am I? Because from where I sit, it looks like my wife is having an affair with her coworker, and the only ridiculous thing is that she thinks I'm too stupid to notice. The words hang in the air between us like a challenge. This is it, the moment where she can either come clean or double down on the lies. She chooses lies. You're being paranoid, Eli. Chad and I are friends, nothing more. If you can't handle me having male friends don't sneak around. Friends don't lie about where they're going, and friends definitely don't plan weekend getaways to cabins upstate. Her face goes white. How did you... She stops herself, but it's too late. The admission is written all over her face. How did I know? Maybe I'm not as clueless as you and your boyfriend think. Sam gets out of bed and starts getting dressed, moving with sharp, angry movements. I don't have to listen to this. No, you don't. But you're going to anyway. I pull out my phone and start scrolling through the screenshots I've been collecting for weeks. Text messages, photos, social media posts, all the evidence of their affair laid out in chronological order. December 3rd, I read aloud. Chad's amazing, so different from E, actually pays attention to me. December 10th, the husband suspects nothing, too busy with his little projects. December 15th, can't wait to have you all to myself this weekend. Sam's face goes from white to green. She sits down heavily on the edge of the bed. Eli, I'm not finished. December 18th. After the holidays, I'm filing for divorce, going to take him for everything he's worth. December 20th. Guy like that probably doesn't even have a good lawyer. I look up from the phone. Sam's staring at me like I've grown a second head. Surprise, I say. The clueless husband knows how to use technology. Where did you get those? Does it matter? The question is, what are we going to do about it? Sam stands up and starts pacing, her mind racing through options and consequences. This is illegal, she says finally. Invasion of privacy. A lawyer would what? Get them thrown out of court? Maybe. But they're already out there, Sam. Tori's seen them. Gabby's seen them. Half the people at your Christmas party have seen them. You showed them to people? I didn't have to. You and Chad did that yourselves when you got caught in that supply closet. She stops pacing and looks at me with something approaching respect. You planned this. I planned to find out the truth. Everything else just followed naturally. The fire alarm, Chad's car problems. You've been sabotaging us. I've been evening the playing field. Sam sits down across from me, and for the first time in months, we're really looking at each other. What do you want? She asks. I want you to stop lying to me. Okay. Yes, I'm having an affair with Chad. Yes, we were planning to go away together this weekend. Yes, I was going to file for divorce after the holidays. The honesty is jarring after months of deception, but it's also liberating. Finally, we're dealing with the truth. Why? She's quiet for a long moment, and when she speaks, her voice is soft. Because I felt invisible. Because you stopped seeing me as anything other than your wife. Because Chad made me feel special and desired and important. And I didn't? Not for a long time. The words hurt, but they also ring true. Somewhere along the way, we'd stopped being lovers and become roommates. I'd stopped trying to impress her, and she'd stopped trying to connect with me. But that doesn't excuse what she did. So instead of talking to me about it, you decided to have an affair and take half my business in the divorce. I was scared. I didn't know how to fix us, and Chad was there, and he was interested, and it felt good to be wanted. And the money? She looks ashamed. I was angry. I felt like you'd checked out of our marriage, so I deserved compensation. For what? For cheating on me? For 8 years of feeling like I wasn't enough for you. We sit in silence for a moment, the weight of our broken marriage settling between us like dust. Where does this leave us? Sam asks finally. I don't know, but I know where it leaves you and Chad. What do you mean? I smile, and it's not a nice smile. I mean your boyfriend's about to have a very bad day. Before Sam can ask what I mean, my phone rings. It's Tori. You need to get down here, she says, her voice tight with panic. What's wrong? Chad's here at the office, and he's losing it. He's screaming at everyone, accusing people of vandalizing his car, threatening to sue the company. Security's on their way up. I look at Sam, who's gone pale again. We'll be right there, I tell Tori. We? Sam asks. Oh, yes. You're going to want to see this. 20 minutes later, we're standing in the lobby of Henderson Financial, watching Chad Larkin have the mother of all meltdowns. He's in the middle of the office floor, surrounded by confused co-workers, shouting about conspiracies and sabotage and lawsuits. His perfect hair is disheveled, his expensive suit is wrinkled, and his face is red with rage. Someone here is targeting me, he shouts. Someone in this office is destroying my property and trying to ruin my life. Chad, says Mr. Henderson, the company owner, you need to calm down. Calm down? My car's been vandalized 3 times this week. My apartment building's been getting anonymous complaints about noise. Someone's been calling my clients and spreading rumors about my professional conduct. I haven't actually done any of those last 2 things, but Chad's paranoia is making him see conspiracies everywhere. Maybe you should go home, Henderson suggests. Take a few days to... I'm not going anywhere until I find out who's doing this to me. Chad's eyes scan the crowd of co-workers, and when they land on me, they narrow with suspicion. You, he says, pointing at me. This is about your wife, isn't it? The office goes quiet. Everyone knows about the Christmas party incident, but no one expected Chad to make it public like this. I don't know what you're talking about, I say calmly. Like hell you don't. You've been following us, harassing us, trying to break us up. Break up what? I thought you were just co-workers. Chad's face gets even redder. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Actually, I don't. Are you saying you and my wife are more than co-workers? It's a trap, and Chad's too angry to see it. In front of his boss, his colleagues, and half the office staff, he's about to admit to having an affair with a married woman. Yes, we're together. We love each other, and you're trying to destroy that because you can't handle losing. The silence that follows is deafening. Mr. Henderson looks like he's swallowed something unpleasant. The other employees are staring at Chad like he's grown horns. And Sam looks like she wants to disappear into the floor. Well, I say finally, that clears things up. Chad realizes what he's just done, but it's too late. The damage is complete. Chad, Mr. Henderson says quietly, I think you should clean out your desk. You can't fire me for this. I can fire you for creating a hostile work environment, making threats against co-workers, and conducting inappropriate relationships with married colleagues. Security will escort you out. As if on cue, 2 security guards appear and move toward Chad. This isn't over, Chad shouts as they take his arms. I'll sue all of you. His threats fade as the elevator doors close behind him. The office slowly returns to normal, people drifting back to their desks and trying to pretend they didn't just witness their colleague's complete professional suicide. Sam is standing frozen in the middle of it all, her career in ruins, her affair exposed, her perfect image shattered beyond repair. Well, I say, loud enough for everyone to hear, I guess I should thank you all for helping me understand what my wife's been up to during those late nights at the office. And with that, I turn and walk away, leaving Sam to face the consequences of her choices alone. The story ends there, in that moment of perfect, devastating justice. No reconciliation, no forgiveness, no happy ending. Just the sound of a marriage finally, completely falling apart.